quagmire out there. There's a lot of standing water. Of course, it's been raining here in Middlebury all day, as it has been in Rutland, but it has not rained in a couple of hours. And a great crowd here, especially considering the weather, but the temperature relatively mild.
Well, yeah, exactly, Jack. For this late in the season, a first-round playoff game, the temperature is extremely mild, and you take away the field position as it stands, or the field condition as it stands tonight, and it certainly makes for a great evening for football. However, the field conditions as they are will probably play a big factor as this game wears on. And although George Toma, the NFL turf specialist, was unavailable, George Braves is available, and he did not bring his squeegee with him tonight. So unfortunately, the field will remain as it is. Very soggy down the middle part of the field. The sidelines are a little bit not quite as worn out as most football fields are, but it is damp. I was down there walking around. It is a mess down there.
Middlebury has won the toss. They have deferred the choice to the second half, so the Raiders will go on the offense right away, and they'll be receiving, defending the goal off to our right here in the first quarter. Middlebury will be kicking off, defending the goal off to our left here in the first quarter. And in any big football game, I guess you like to be on the defense first to get rid of those butterflies, as both teams are being introduced now to the folks here at Middlebury Union High School.
Well, down on the field before the game, I was talking to Mickey Caligieri and Andy Rice, and they both seem to think that a field condition as it is tonight would probably favor Middlebury, more on the defensive side of the football, because Rutland comes out in a finesse-type defense, and they need a good solid footing underneath them in order to execute that. They will not have that advantage tonight. However, some of the things that Coach Rice had touched on is maybe a little bit of surprises going on offensively for the Raiders tonight, such as throwing the ball on first down. Look for Anagnos to Gagne as the game concludes and wears on. Look for Jeff Sin. The first time that Middlebury hosted Rutland here this year, Sin was still in his wingback position. They have since made that big offensive adjustment, and since then we've seen the Jeff Sin of old, and he certainly started to dominate the ball offensively for Rutland.
Great game last week against MSG and 2 weeks ago against Mount Anthony. I mentioned the rain had stopped, at least the steady rain. It looks like it's a very thin mist. So at least at the beginning of the ball game, there will be a misty rain here as the Raiders have been introduced. The Tigers will be introduced here in just a moment from the public address announcer. We'll continue with more on our pregame show after this 60-second timeout. National anthem will be set to go with the opening kickoff here momentarily. The Tigers coached by Pete Brakely, and of course the Raiders under coach John Beerworth. The Tigers going with Matt Daly, a quarterback, 6'1", 180-pound senior. John Ramsey is the center, 6'3", 260-pound senior. At the ends, Opie English, 5'11", 180-pound senior, and Carl Langfeld, a 6'5", 200-pound senior. And behind Daly in the backfield, Stacy Burnham, the guy to watch, 6', 215-pound senior. However, the Raiders did have Burnham relatively in check in that regular season game. Also in the backfield, Ken Moss, 5'10", 170-pound junior. Judd Mackey, a 6', 178-pound senior. And Gordy McDonough will be seeing action, 5'10", 180-pound senior. We'll see action from Casey O'Mara and Ben Johnston as well. It was really Gordy McDonough that gave the Raiders fits in that regular season ball game.
Well, he certainly had a lot to do with that 23-7 victory by Middlebury over Rutland. But the biggest thing that had the biggest tile in that first meeting was 7 penalties against Rutland, and that really did them in that first meeting. And we're going to see a totally different Rutland team than one we saw here on October 15th, Jack. And probably the biggest missing in that first meeting was the two big turnovers against Rutland that Middlebury capitalized on. One was a blocked punt that was taken in at the 10-yard line for a touchdown, and the fumble off the kickoff that Middlebury used to score just a couple plays later. So as far as emotionally, Rutland certainly has turned it around since that game, and they're riding a 2-game winning streak, and they couldn't have asked for a better time to have that happen to them.
Ryan McIntyre and Ryan Welch back deep for the Raiders. Matt Daly doing the booting. As the Raiders will go on the offense route, it'll hit on one hop and slide by McIntyre, picks it up at the 9, gets across the 10 as he takes it right, and he's punched under at the Raider 11-yard line. So the Raiders right off the bat do not have good field position here as Stacy Burnham got down there to make the tackle. So the Raiders go on the offense, 1st and 10 at their own 11-yard line, going right to left here in the first quarter. The Raiders have been here before this year, losing that regular season game, getting down 17-0. Of course, there was a big punt return, a punt block return for a touchdown by Ben Johnston in that earlier game. The up back is McFerrin, the deep back is Welch. Out of the eye, couple of wide outs right. Jimmy Anagnos, the senior quarterback, got a man in motion right to left. And the handoff goes to the deep back. It is Welch off right tackle. He cracks his way out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line, picks up close to 10 yards on the first carry of the football game. And it's close enough for a measurement. It is indeed a first down, so Welch carries for 10. Moss again on the tackle, and it's 1st and 10 Raiders at their own 21-yard line.
Well, that's something that Coach Rice had pointed out. They may look to throw on first down. That time they went around the right side. Of course, that's where Bill Drew lines up. Cleared a big opening that time for Ryan Welch.
Again, Welch is the deep back, and McFerrin is the up back. Couple of men wide right. They mark it at the right side hash mark. 1st and 10 Raiders, their own 21-yard line. Got a man in motion, and the handoff again goes to Welch. Sweeps it right, gets it out across the 25, out to about the 28-yard line before he's dropped by Aaron Volkert. So a pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. So the Raiders looking good on the first 2 offensive plays of the football game.
Well, no mystery who they're running behind. Bill Drew, of course, he was the 12th Player Award winner last week's game against MSJ, clearing out big holes for Jeff Sin to run for 3 touchdowns, and they're going around his side early on in this game.
Jason Beerley is the wing on the left side now, and the ends are tight. A couple of setbacks behind Jimmy Anagnos. And the handoff goes off right tackle, and getting only about a yard on the play as he got his way out to about the 29-yard line was Jeff Sin. Casey O'Mara on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Raiders at their own 29-yard line. Jeff Sin was in on that particular play. McFerrin and Welch were in the backfield earlier. Now Downey is a wing on the right, and Sin and Welch are the setbacks. 3rd and 1 for the Raiders, their own 29-yard line. Hand off to Welch, sweeps it right, got some room across the 35, and he slides his way across the far sideline through the mud out there, out around the 39-yard line or so, and it is a Raider first down. So they picked up a couple of first downs on this, their first drive of the football game. Carl Langfeld on the stop for Middlebury. So a couple of first downs, and the Raiders looking good. We're just underway. They got the opening kick. There's no score, 9:37 remaining in the first quarter here at Middlebury. 1st and 10 Raiders at their own 39-yard line. Now they operate out of the eye again, and they mark it at the right side hash mark. And a man in motion right to left. Handoff goes to the deep back, and nothing doing this time. As it crunched under at the line of scrimmage, Chan Perrine on the stop, Ryan Welch on the carry. Get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Raiders at their own 39-yard line.
Well, the 5 plays offensively so far in this opening drive for Rutland, Ryan Welch has carried the ball 4 of those times. Jeff Sin doing it the other time. So throwing a little bit of a mix-up here is who's going to run the ball early for the Raiders.
Randy Gagne in, he's wide left. The full house backfield now. The Raiders giving that Middlebury look here as Anagnos barks him out on 2nd down. And handoff goes to Sin off right tackle. Nothing much there. Maybe a yard to the 40. Tackled by Ryan Aldrich as he drove him back. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Raiders. The ball marked to the Raider 40-yard line.
Well, I wonder if Middlebury had possibly scouted Jeff Sin the last 2 games. As you know, he had 3 touchdowns last weekend, a couple touchdowns the week before against Mount Anthony. And he certainly was the catalyst offensively for the Raiders. And tonight they're keying on him, which, have we seen in this opening drive, has freed up Ryan Welch to run the football.
Mike Abatel is the center. He's over the football. Now the Raiders operate out of the power I. They have a 3rd and 9. Ball just across the Raider 40-yard line. And Anagnos on to the deep handoff to Welch, and he cracks his way out across the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Ryan Welch on the carry, picked up 6, but it'll be shy of first down yardage. Aaron Volkert on the stop, and the Raiders will be faced with a 4th down and close to 5. No score, 7:44 remaining in the first quarter. So the Raiders picked up a couple of first downs, but they'll be forced to boot the football away now.
Well, they moved the ball fairly effectively on the ground, most of the damage being done by Ryan Welch. And on that first offensive series for Rutland, Middlebury did a nice job keying against Jeff Sin.
Christian Hiller back to boot around his own 32. O'Mara back in single safety for Middlebury, back around the Middlebury 30 as Hiller gets the boot away. And O'Mara has to make a stumbling catch up around the Middlebury 33-yard line. Dangerous play by Middlebury's Casey O'Mara, but Middlebury will go on the offense for the first time in this football game. So the Raiders look good, picked up a couple of first downs, but the drive sputtered a bit, and the Raiders had to boot the football away.
Well, 7 penalties against Rutland in the first matchup here about a month ago, and dangerously close to a late hit penalty against Walterscheid and or Downey that time against the Raiders. They lucked out by not getting the flag thrown against them.
So Middlebury has John Ramsey, the center. They operate out of the straight T or the full house backfield. Ross Sheehan is in the backfield now, along with Burnham and Moss. The quarterback is Matt Daly. He's a senior. And the handoff goes to Burnham. Sweeps it right, nothing doing. He's going to lose a couple back to the 31-yard line. And in there on the tackle for the Raiders was Brian Pinney, who played a nice game up here against Middlebury during the regular season game as Ben Johnston comes into the football game for Middlebury. They're going to give him his forward progress back to the line of scrimmage, and so it'll be 2nd and 10 Tigers at their own 33-yard line. Sheehan out of the football game now. Sunderland is in along with Burnham and Johnston right to left in the full house backfield or the straight T behind the quarterback Matt Daly. 2nd and 10 Middlebury at the Tiger 33. And nothing doing on the handoff to Johnston, and he is going to be rumbled under back inside his own 30, back around the 29-yard line or so. And in there on the tackle again it was Brian Pinney, and he had some help, Jim Hill, there to stuff him as well. They're going to say his progress to the 30, so when it was all said and done, he lost 3. It'll be 3rd and 13 for the Tigers at their own 30, and the Raider defensive unit fired up here in the early going.
Well, credit Matt Walterscheid with causing all the havoc in the backfield. He burst through the line of scrimmage, forced Johnson to the outside, and 2 Raiders wrapped him up for a loss of 3.
Double wing setup now. Sheehan on the left, Sunderland on the right. He's in motion right to left is Daly on the deep handoff. It goes to Burnham looking for room. Out across the 35, out to about the 38-yard line before he's stacked under. It'll be shy of first down yardage. Jacob Downey there on the tackle. So the Raider defensive unit is held on the first series for Middlebury. And Middlebury will be faced with a 4th down and 4 at their own 38-yard line. They'll have to boot the football away.
Well, that was one of the concerns coming in, was how well would Rutland's defensive line be able to move in this mud, in this sloppy field. And they certainly erased any doubts on that opening drive defensively.
Burnham back to boot around his own 25, either to McIntyre or Welch, back around the Raider 22. The snap is a good one, and Burnham gets the boot away, and it's a good boot. It goes to McIntyre. He fumbles the football, but it is recovered by Ryan Welch. McIntyre tried to come up around the 25 to catch it over his shoulder, and it bounced off his shoulder pad, went back to about the 23, but Ryan Welch back to recover, and that could have been disaster for the Raiders, but they have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
Well, so far they've almost committed 2 of the things that cost them the game here about a month ago. They almost had a penalty thrown on a late hit, and they almost turned the football over there. Good thing for Rutland, Ryan Welch is right there, and as we all know, almost only counts in horseshoes and bingo, right, Jack?
That's right. I didn't know it counted in bingo.
Well, that's what you told me on the way up. So.
Sin and McFerrin in the setbacks behind Jimmy and Agnes. The wing right is Jason Beerley. Handoff to Sin, sweeps it right, spins, cracks his way across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line. Arthur Payne on the stop for Middlebury, and that picked up about 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 or Rutland High, as they have the football for the second time in this ball game this afternoon or tonight. Give them a pickup of 5, we'll call it, and call it second down and close to 5 for the Raiders at their own 27-yard line. And the handoff goes to the first man through and getting his way out to about the 33, and then really racked there was McFerrin and Aaron Volkert on the stop. Jeff McFerrin for the Raiders in the backfield, a junior 5'8", 155-pounder.
Well, they can
Well, he got his way out. He did get enough for a first down, though. He picked up about 5. That's what he needed. It's 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 33-yard line. Now the Raiders operate out of the power I setup with Sin, the deep back. And they're looking a lot better in this game as the handoff goes to Sin, and he dives over his own offensive line across the 35 to about the 36, picks up about 3. Payne on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Rutland High. The Raider 36-yard line. No score, 3:20 remaining in the first quarter here at Middlebury, the Division I semis.
And they continue to run around that right side of the offensive line. That's certainly been the route that they wanted to go to here this evening, and we have yet to see them throw the football on first down that Coach Andy Rice said they might try to do here early.
Couple of setbacks behind Jimmy Anagnos, the quarterback. They have a wing right. And I think Mike Abatel, the center, wanted a drier football. He has the right to do that. It has been raining here in Middlebury, as it has been across the state, as you know. And the middle of the field is a quagmire.
Could you define that, Jack?
Which means a lot of mud.
A lot of mud.
And standing water.
Learn something new every day.
The ends are tight. Bliss is tight on the left side. And the handoff goes off right tackle and getting his way out to about the 38-yard line. On the carry was Jeff Sin. Picked up a couple.
Getting hard to pick up the numbers. Probably the only
already
jersey for Rutland that you really have no problem seeing is Jim Anagnos. His job so far has been to hand the football off, as they have yet to look to the air now. And his jersey remains to be unmuddied or unquagmired.
3rd down, close to 5 for the Raiders at their own 38-yard line.
Just wanted you to know, Jack, that any more tricky words like that,
I learned that from Mitch Braves.
I'll be forced to use this. It is loaded and ready to go.
Quagmire. Clock stops with 2:19 remaining here in the first quarter. 3rd down and close to 5 for the Raiders at their own 38-yard line. Randy Gagne's into the football game, and he will be wide left. Welch is in, along with Sin. Got a wing on the right. Handoff to Welch as he skips right, and he tried to turn the corner, couldn't do it. Lost a yard, maybe 2. Ken Moss there on the tackle. He lost a yard back to the 37. So the Raiders are faced with a 4th and 6, and they'll have to boot the football away.
Well, what happened on that play was Anagnos turned in the backfield to hand the football off to Welch, and he actually had to wait a split second longer than he wanted to, as Welch was already heading upfield, and Anagnos actually had to catch up to him and wait for him to get the football, and that caused enough time for Middlebury to get in the backfield and throw him for a loss of 1 on the play.
So for the second time, Christian Hiller back to boot around the Raider 25-yard line. O'Mara back deep for Middlebury, right around the Middlebury 34 or so. I know I mentioned this in the first game. You get the feeling one score might be enough, and I said that in the first game. It's a low snap. Hiller digs it out and gets the boot away. Nice job by Hiller. It hits inside the 35, a Raider roll, and just stops in the mud at the Middlebury 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their own 26. Hiller did a nice job digging the low snap out of the turf here at Middlebury, and the Tigers go on the offense for the second time in this ball game tonight, with 1:04 remaining in the first quarter, a scoreless ball game.
Well, really no surprise. In under field conditions like this, the defense usually plays a little bit better than the offense. It's kind of hard to move your feet out there when you're running with the football, and both teams defensively are playing extremely well, with Rutland holding an advantage so far in this game.
The mark it actually at the Middlebury 27, left side hash mark. Matt Daly is the quarterback. Straight T. And the handoff goes to the first man through, breaking his way out across the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, and finally down at the Raider 32-yard line was Stacy Burnham, the fullback, and he was dropped by Frankie Vaccaro. Stacy Burnham almost took it all the way.
Well, almost took it all the way is right, Jack, and thank goodness for Frankie Vaccaro using his speed and quickness, catching him downfield and throwing him down at about the 33-yard line. They're going to mark it, maybe even 34.
41-yard pickup for Stacy Burnham.
Dangerously close to going all the way that time had it not been for the speed and ball pursuit by Frankie Vaccaro.
1st and 10 for Middlebury at the Raider 33. A 41-yard run for Stacy Burnham. In motion now, Ben Johnston as the handoff goes to Burnham. Takes it right. 25-20, and he's bounced out of bounds at the Raider 15-yard line. Stacy Burnham, who just ran 41 yards, takes that one for 18. He was bounced out of bounds by Kyle Berquist. It's 1st and 10 Middlebury.
18-yard gain, 2 big gains back-to-back for Burnham, but Bob Sunderland did a nice job of blocking Brian Pinney off the play that time, the cornerback for Rutland, and as we know, Pinney was in on a couple plays on the first drive for Middlebury. Couldn't get to it that time. Good block.
And the Raiders want a timeout. Got a timeout on the field. No score. 21 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll be back after this 30-second break. Justice, Middlebury has it 1st and 10 at the Raider 15-yard line. No score. 21 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. They mark it near the right side hash mark. The Middlebury field, a mud bowl. Straight T. Sheehan, Burnham, and a Sunderland behind Matt Daly. Sunderland gets the call straight ahead. Huge hole as he cracks his way down to about the 11. The Raiders really closed the hole down in a hurry. It picked up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Middlebury Tigers. Jacob Downey there to wrap them up. That might be the final play of the first quarter as the clock runs down. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that is the end of the first quarter. We played a quarter here in the Division I semis at Middlebury. After a quarter, the score, Rutland nothing, Middlebury nothing. Back after this 30-second timeout. Jack Healey, Vince Allo as we get set for the second quarter. Middlebury on the move. The Tigers have it 2nd down and about 6 at the Raider 11-yard line. The Tigers going right to left here in the second quarter, and the Raiders going left to right.
Well, the Tigers doing more damage the second time they touched the football. The first time, no yards, loss of 3, 2 yards, and then a punt on their first series. Since then, 41, 18, and 4 yards gained on the ground by Middlebury.
And Burnham had the 41-yard run and the 18-yard run. He was the single setback, double wing setup for Matt Daly and company. Johnston in motion as Daly takes it right on the option, pitches back to Johnston, sweeps it right, and he's cut down as he gets it to about the 5, maybe the 4-yard line. Awfully close to first down yardage. Jacob Downey there on the tackle. It is a first down for Middlebury. Middlebury has it 1st and goal at the Raider 4-yard line. So Middlebury on the verge of drawing first blood here. The early going second quarter in a scoreless ball game. 1st and goal for the Tigers at the Raider 4. Sheehan is in. He's a wing left. Sunderland wing right. Stacy Burnham is the lone setback as they mark it at the right side hash mark. 1st and goal Middlebury, the Raider 4. Sheehan in motion left to right. And the handoff goes to Burnham off right tackle. He spins his way. He's in. Touchdown. Stacy Burnham, a 4-yard touchdown run. And Middlebury draws first blood. Middlebury leads it 6-0 with 11:49 left in the first half.
Well, Burnham did nothing to hurt Rutland the first matchup here a couple weeks ago. This time tonight, so far he's got 41-yard gain, 18 yards, then he takes it in 3 plays after that from 4 yards out. And Middlebury, like you said, Jack, draws first blood at the 11:49 mark, going on top 6-0. And no question about it, the big play was the first play from the line of scrimmage on that drive, a 41-yard gain by Stacy Burnham.
Matt Daly in to attempt the extra point for Middlebury. Matt Smith is the holder. As Middlebury has a 6-0 lead. Snap is down. The kick is blocked. Raiders getting in there to block the kick. And let's see who got in there to block it. We'll have to, I believe it might have been Jacob Downey.
It was Jacob
Downey blocking the kick, and it's 6-0 Middlebury. We'll be back with a kickoff after this 30-second timeout. Jack Healey back with Vince Allo, 72 yards in 5 plays for the Tigers. A 4-yard run for the touchdown by Stacey Burnham. Jacob Downey blocking the extra point attempt. And Middlebury has a 6-0 lead with 11:49 remaining in the first half. Just to ask some people up here in the press box, we haven't seen Gordy McDonough. I'm not sure if he's injured or not.
I don't see his number.
He is injured. He is injured. He was a big factor in that first game. Here's the Daly boot. And it goes to Welch at the 20, 25, 30. And breaking his way out across the 40, out to about the 42. Correction, I said Welch. It was McIntyre on the return. And a pretty good return out to the 41-yard line. It was McIntyre, of course, last week when MSJ went up 9-8 and had a 39-yard kickoff return to put the Raiders in business on the ensuing drive after that when the Raiders came back to retake the lead. Ryan McIntyre on the return.
Well, without question, he came very close to breaking that, but without question, the Raiders would certainly like to come back with another drive as they did last week off the big kick return coming off an MSJ touchdown by Mr. McIntyre.
Pretty good field position for the Raiders. They mark it at the Raider 43. 1st and 10, Rutland High. A couple of wideouts left and a man in motion now. And here's the pitch to Welch as he takes it left and gets his way out to about the 45.
Jeff Sin.
We're checking Jeff Sin on the carry. We're getting to the point now where it's real difficult to see the mud on the jerseys. We can see the mud, but very difficult to see the numbers. Jeff Sin picks up a couple out to the 45. It's 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at their own 45-yard line. Couple of setbacks behind Jimmy and Agnes. 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. They have it at their own 45-yard line. Ganya's wide left. They got the end tight on the right side. This is to Welch as he sweeps it left. Turns the corner for a couple, maybe to the 47. He's cut down by Paul Gill. See where they mark it. Let's say he was down at the 46-yard line. Unless they say, let's see, it doesn't look like he got a real good spot here as they bring it toward the middle of the field. Basically, he got back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he got a good spot at all. Let's say he got it to the 45-yard line, just back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 8 for the Raiders at their own 45-yard line.
Quagmire spot, it must be, or home field spot.
Jimmy and Agnes marks him out on 3rd down, and he fumbles the snap, scramble, and I believe the Raiders have recovered their own fumble. And I believe it was Anagnos who recovered, either Anagnos or the center, Mike Abatel. And it was all said and done. It got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 8 for the Raiders at their own 45-yard line. Matter of fact, it lost about a yard back to the 44. 6-0 Middlebury, 9:38 remaining in the first half here in the Division I semis. Healer back to boot to Casey O'Mara is back deep for Middlebury. Back inside the Middlebury 30 around the 27. Healer back around the Raider 30 to boot it away here. Last time he had to dig the snap out of the turf and got the boot away, and again a low snap. Grabs it on one hop and gets the kick away. Nice job again by Hiller on a hop to O'Mara at the 25. Looks right, retreats all the way back inside the 20, and he's dropped at the Middlebury 18 by Frankie Vaccaro. So he actually lost about 7 yards after he picked up the football.
And once again, Frankie Vaccaro getting down the field ahead of everybody, wrapping him up at the Middlebury 18, and for the 2nd time tonight, Frankie Vaccaro with a big solo tackle.
It was Vaccaro that at the time saved the potential touchdown run when Burnham went for 41 yards. They're going to say his forward progress was at the 19, so it's 1st and 10 Middlebury at their own 19-yard line. Ross Sheehan is in. He's the nephew of LPGA Hall of Fame golfer Patty Sheehan. He's the wing on the left side. Sunderland wing right, and Burnham is the lone setback. And Burnham gets the call as he sweeps it right. Nothing much there, maybe a yard. Bunch of Raiders over there to ramble them out of bounds. Led by Matt Walterscheid. Picked up maybe a yard to the 20. It'll be 2nd and 9, Middlebury. As Johnston comes into the ball game for Ross Sheehan.
Well, the Raiders that time doing a nice job of pushing the ball to the outside of the field, and Walterscheid led the pursuit, waited for his friends to arrive, and they threw him for a gain of only 1 on the play for Burnham.
Carl Langfeld is the end that's tight on the left. Sunderland a wing right, Johnston wing left, and Burnham the lone setback. Matt Daly barks him out, and Johnston's in motion left to right. And he goes to the other wing. It's Sunderland, sleeps it left, gets it across the 25 out to about the 30. And he's dropped there by Frankie Vaccaro. Brent Bliss was over there as well. It picks up 10, and it is a Middlebury first down. Going to mark it just across the Middlebury 30.
Now, once again, Middlebury had one Raider to beat. And unfortunately for Middlebury, and fortunately for Rutland, that one Raider was Frankie Vaccaro, his third big solo tackle, and we're not even halfway through this second quarter.
7:48 remaining in the first half. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead on a 4-yard touchdown run by Stacy Burnham. Again, the double wing setup. Langfeld now is wide right. Sheehan is in, and he's in motion left to right. Hand off to Burnham straight ahead. Huge hole across the 35, out across the 40, down at the 41. He picks up 11. Mike Clark on the tackle for Rutland High. They are going to say his knee touched at the 40, so he picked up about 9.5. It's awfully close to a first down. I don't believe they're going to call for a measurement. It'll be 2nd and inches for Middlebury just across their own 40. So he picked up close to 10. Johnston, a wing left. Sunderland, wing right. Burnham is the setback. Matt Daly marking out the signals over his center, John Ramsey. 2nd and inches for Middlebury. Their own 40. Handoff to Burnham. Takes it left off left tackle, and he's down after picking up about 4 out close to the 44-yard line. But it is a Middlebury first down. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Jim Hill there to wrap them up. Now, the Raiders might have stopped Burnham the first time around, but they've had some problems stopping them here in the first half.
Well, give a lot of credit to the offensive line of Middlebury. The first drive for Middlebury, 3 and out, and they only gained 2 yards after no gain and a loss of 3. And since that time, they've really had their way with the Rutland defensive line, moving them off the line of scrimmage.
Trudeau is tight left. Sheehan and Langfeld wide right. There's a wing right, Sunderland. Burnham is the lone setback. 1st and 10, Middlebury. Their own 44. It goes to Burnham, takes it right. Nothing there. And he's dropped after maybe picking up a half yard. Looked like Jeff Sin was over there on the tackle for Rutland High area as well. 2nd and 10 for Middlebury. They're on 44-yard line. We have the monitor here, Channel 15 telecasting this game, taping it for telecast at a later time. I'll tell you, the monitor is coming in handy with the mud tonight, that's for sure. In motion again is Sheehan, handoff. Fake to Burnham and a fumble! And I believe the Raiders have recovered at the Middlebury 40 on the fumble recovery. Greg Trombley on the fumble recovery, and the Raiders pick up the first turnover of the ball game.
Couldn't have come in at a better time for Rutland as Middlebury was putting together another long drive. 6 plays into that drive, they got to the quarterback, Daly. Couldn't quite see who jarred the football loose, but...
Well, actually, it was a fake to Burnham. Actually, they sort of got mixed up. I'm not sure if it was a fake or he tried to hand it off to Burnham. Both of them lost the handle. Trombley on the fumble recovery. 1st and 10 Raiders at the Middlebury 40. First break of the football game. We'll see if the Raiders can take advantage of this one. As Anagnos goes to the first man through off left tackle, and just really not much there. Picking up a couple to the 38 was Jeff Sin. Host of Tigers there to drive them back, led by Charles Payne. Picked up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 38-yard line. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead with 5:09 left in the first half. Neither team has thrown the football as yet, with the conditions being what they are tonight, which means this game is just zipping right along here. Welch and Sin are the setbacks now behind Jimmy and Agnes. Welch gets the call straight ahead, and he picks up maybe a yard, punched under at the 37. Pickup of a yard. Ben Johnston on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 37-yard line.
Well, you're right, Jack. So far, neither team has thrown the football, and we thought we might see Rutland try something sneaky, perhaps a quick drop on first down. And right now, with a 3rd and 7, this might not be a bad time to look down the field at Gagne. We've yet to hear his name called out this evening.
Gagne goes wide left. McIntyre is wide right. Setbacks are Sin and Welch as Jimmy and Agnes barks him out on 3rd down. And Agnes back to throw. You called it. And Agnes being pressured, rolls left, throws downfield, and it goes incomplete. Randy Gagne had it and couldn't hang on down around the Middlebury 12-yard line. The man wide right, by the way, was Brent Bliss. He went down and in as Anagnos rolled left. He was pressured somewhat. Tried to find Gagne at the sideline down around the 12, and Gagne couldn't hang on. So the Raiders are faced with a 4th down and 7 at the Middlebury 37-yard line. The first pass attempt of the football game by either team.
Well, without question, you can tell that the ball was wet. As soon as it hit Gagne, it skipped away, as you might see it when it hits the ground. And we all know that Gagne quite capable of catching virtually everything that's thrown his way. He was wide open down the far sideline, and the wet ball just skipped away out of bounds on 3rd down for Rutland.
Hiller back to boot around the 50-yard line. O'Mara back around the 10 for Middlebury. Snap again low. Hiller again digs it out. And a line drive boot to O'Mara at the 10-yard line, up the sideline, 15, 20, and he's finally rustled out of bounds right around the Middlebury 25-yard line. And getting down there to make the tackle was Jeff McFerrin. So Middlebury withstood the turnover, the fumble recovery by Greg Trombley. The Raiders could not capitalize, so Middlebury has it 1st and 10 at its own 25-yard line. The Tigers have a 6-0 lead with 3:55 remaining in the first half.
Well, although that pass went incomplete for Rutland on 3rd down, that goes to show you that that could potentially be open as this game wears on. And hopefully for the Raiders, Gagne will be able to grab that one in for a completion next time it's thrown his way.
Straight T behind the quarterback, Matt Daly, as he barks him out. Left side hash mark, 1st and 10 Middlebury. And the handoff to Burnham. Big hole across the 30, out close to the 35 before he's dropped. Close to a 10-yard pickup for Stacy Burnham. And Kyle Burke was there on the tackle for Rutland High. They're going to mark it just shy of the 35-yard line. Going to mark it at the 34. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for Middlebury.
Well, Berkowitz tripped him up, and again, Frankie Vaccaro made sure he didn't go any further. But on 1st down, they're going to burn him. If you think back to the touchdown drive that they had, it all started with a 41-yard gain on 1st down for Middlebury by Stacy Burnham.
Again, the straight T. Langfeld tight left, Trudeau tight right. 2nd and short for Middlebury, its own 34-yard line. Hand off to Burnham, takes it left. Burnham gets it to about the 40. Tackled by Bill Drew. A pickup of 6 for Stacy Burnham, and it's a Middlebury 1st down. 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 40-yard line. A Tiger has been shaken up. It is Burnham near sideline, and he is limping toward the bench here on the near sideline.
Well, what happened was Bill Drew hit him low. He dove at his feet, hit him in the ankles or the shin area, and Burnham is in a lot of pain on the near sideline. They're checking him out right now. Boy, what a huge loss that would be, as number 25, Gordy McDonough, already not suited up for Middlebury tonight. Now if they lose Burnham, that's their 2 big go-to guys out of the backfield.
Sheehan and Johnston are in the backfield now for the Middlebury Tigers. 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line as Burnham is out. And the handoff goes to Sheehan out across the 45, out to about the 47-yard line. He picks up 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Going to mark it the 46. They'll give him 6. We'll call it 2nd and 4 for Middlebury.
He lost the football as he was tackled that time and
got it
spun
back
away
again
from him. He got it back just in time as a few Raiders were there ready to pounce on it, but Sheehan grabbed it away.
Looked like Walter Scheit was in there on that tackle. 2nd and 4 for Middlebury, their own 46-yard line. The Tigers lead at 6-0, and Middlebury will be called for illegal motion here as the handoff goes to Johnston out across the 50 to about the Raider 49. But I think they were trying to blow that play dead before it got underway. So
there might be another infraction on the play. I don't know. There was one before the play started, and then as the play went along, there was 2 more flags thrown on this side of the field. Don't know if they're going to whistle them for 1 or 2, but the first one was against Middlebury.
Mike Gabatel looks to be shaken up, I believe. He's going to be limping toward the far sideline. As into the ball game for Rutland High is Frank Parisi, a 6', 220-pound junior, in defensively. It is a legal motion against Middlebury. They're going to mark it back to the Middlebury 41-yard line. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead with 1:51 remaining here in the first half in the Division I semis. Jack Healey, Vince Shallow, and our engineer Eric Justice on WSYB Rutland. So after the penalty, repeat 2nd down, 2nd and 9. I don't believe they had a choice anyway. That was blown dead. 2nd and 9, Middlebury, the Middlebury 41-yard line. Daly operates out of the straight T, and he fakes and takes it left on the option. 45-50 to the Raider 45 to the Raider 40, and he's driven out of bounds at the Raider 38-yard line as he slides through the muck and the mud. He is hit by Frankie Vaccaro out of bounds.
And for the 4th time, a big solo tackle in the open field by Frankie Vaccaro. And for the 2nd time tonight, a touchdown-saving tackle in the open field as he wrapped up Burnham in the first quarter on a big gain. And that time he took care of Daly. But Daly already had a big gain on the play. Trombley had a shot at him in the backfield, but Daly fooled everybody on the quarterback keeper. He came around the left side and took it for a big gain on the play.
21-yard pickup for Daly. 1st and 10 Middlebury at the Raider 38. When I say hit out of bounds, Vaccaro hit him in play and drove him out of bounds. Certainly didn't hit him out of bounds. Daly goes to the first man through and getting his way to about the 34-yard line. After a pickup of about 4, Frank Parisi there on the tackle. That was Ben Johnston on the carry. As Langfield comes into the ball game, Obi English plays at a split end. He was in on that particular play.
Well, we're under a minute to go here in the first half, and you're right, Jack, with only 1 pass attempt here in the first half. The first half certainly is flying by.
Picked up 4, 2nd and 6 for Middlebury, the Raider 34. Double wing set up and a lone setback behind Daly. 40 seconds left in the first half. Sheehan is in motion. And Daly fakes to Johnston, takes it right on the option, pitches back to Sheehan as he swipes it right. He's really hit across the way and right around the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a yard. Looked like maybe that was Penny that hit him across the way, and Berquist. Tough to tell from here. Both teams covered in mud, as you might expect with the field. Or I guess it was Downey that hit him across the way. Rick Laird and Bob Fredette helping us out here too.
Certainly doesn't help to have more eyes, or doesn't hurt to have more eyes checking it out.
It's one of those nights. I haven't had a night like this since that MSJ Essex game back 10 years ago. Not quite as bad today as it was that night, but nevertheless pretty bad field conditions. Lost about a yard. 3rd and 7 Middlebury at the Raider 35. Daly, the quick hitch near side, and it goes incomplete. Almost threw that back. That was close to being a backward pass, as that was intended for Perrine, and they did call it a backward pass, didn't they?
It was really close to being that.
Are they going to go back to the line of scrimmage, or are they going to say, yeah, it did lose yardage all the way back to the 40-yard line? They are going to say it was a backward pass, and actually, in effect, that was a fumble, and Perrine recovered it. It'll be 4th down and 12 for Middlebury at the Raider 40-yard line. That was a backward pass. Chan Perrine, and he actually trapped it. So that, in effect, is a fumble recovered by Middlebury, and
Middlebury called the timeout.
We'll keep it right here with 13 seconds left in the first half. Middlebury out in front by a score of 6-0. They're probably discussing whether they're going to boot it or just try to run out the clock here on a running play. Stacy Burnham injured in this drive, and
he's walking around.
He is walking. It looks like he'll probably
one of his ankles or lower legs. He got hit by Bill Drew low on the diving play right out of bounds a few plays back. And any way you look at it, I think Middlebury would be better off punting the football here and pushing Rutland further downfield. If they go for a running play here, they're at their own 35, at the Rutland 35-yard line.
40-yard line.
40, excuse me. If they can stop them or push them back a few more yards, Rutland has some timeouts, and they've got a few seconds to try, maybe one long pass downfield, call a timeout, maybe a field goal to get on the scoreboard going into the half.
What I'm saying is that a punt is somewhat of a risk.
So far it's been for Rutland, as Hiller's done an excellent job digging the ball out of the mud in the quagmire, to quote Jack Healey. But he has gotten the kicks away, and thinking back to the first matchup, he got one blocked at just about this time.
They are going for it. 4th and 12 for Middlebury, the Raider 40. Back to throw, Daly. Looking. Throws left, and it goes incomplete. It overthrows everybody. Ed Langfield down around the Raider 15, but he threw it out of bounds, so the Raiders take over on downs. 1st and 10 at their own 40 with 7 seconds left in the first half, and Middlebury with a 6-0 lead. Well, I know you learned a new word tonight, but you don't have to keep repeating it.
Well, you didn't even tell me you were going to use that word. I said on the way up here, quagmire means muddy conditions.
Well, I didn't know it was for sure until I saw it.
Quagmire sounds like some sort of fancy sandwich you might find somewhere.
By the way, I'm not sure if the word exists either. I told you, Mitch Graves told me.
Nice segue for Pasquale's, of course, one of our sponsors.
The Raiders probably content to just sit on the football here. 1st and 10 at their own 40, and Agnes, as I say that, and Agnes looked like he was going to throw the football. He was dropping back, but we have whistles and penalty markers down. So maybe it'll be worth one shot downfield on the pass play. And it's against Middlebury for offside. So the Raiders have it 1st and 5 at their own 45-yard line.
Well, we all remember what happened the last play before the half when Rutland was up here on 15th of October. They scored. Pass play to Gagne to make it 17-6 at the half. And a little bit further downfield this time as we near halftime for the Raiders.
Healey is way back, almost in single safety, back around the Middlebury 26. 1st and 5, Raiders their own 45, and Agnes back to throw, and he's hit and he's sacked back inside the 40s down at the 38, and we have a penalty marker down though. I know a half cannot end on a defensive penalty, and did they bring him down by the face mask? We'll wait and see. Or are they waving it off? They were waving it off, so no flag. He lost yardage back to the 38 and lost 7. That is the end of the first half here in the Division I semis at Middlebury. A very rapid first half. We're at halftime, and our score at halftime, Middlebury 6 and Rutland High nothing. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.
You're watching Channel 15, Rutland Region Community Television, your only source for local news, sports, and entertainment.
Out there again.
Jack Healey back with Vince Allo. Both teams are out at halftime. Middlebury will get the second half kick. It is Middlebury 6 and Rutland nothing here at halftime. At the end of the game, we'll have a J.P. Carrera & Sons Most Valuable Player, and that player will get all the souvenirs from J.P. Carrera & Sons. Also, we'll have a 12th Player Award winner from the Squallies, the unsung hero for the Raiders. And I want to remind you that at the end of the year, we'll have a J.P. Carrera & Sons WSYB MVP for the year, a WSYB Pasquale's 12th Player Award winner for the year. We'll also, sponsored by the Green Mountain Bank, have a Raider Green Mountain Bank Sports Person of the Year Award, and also a Rutland High Cheerleader of the Year Award, sponsored by Munsat Jewelers. So all that coming up, and that after the season, and hopefully for the Raiders, that comes after next week and not after tonight. But the J.P. Carrera & Sons game MVP and the Pasquale's game 12th Player Award winner to be announced after the completion of this ball game. And Chris there, who is videoing for Rutland High, does have his car keys. The public address announcer here at Middlebury, when we were back here on October 15th, announced a pair of car keys found about 60 times. But the guy that lost him didn't hear the announcement.
Until the stadium was empty,
saying,
he was ready to go home, and he comes back up into the booth going, oh, I can't find my car keys. And, didn't you hear it? Oh, I didn't hear it. Well, how could you not hear it? So to eliminate that problem, I have stapled the car keys to Chris Thayer's forehead tonight, so he will not forget them. But anyways, one of the big stories in the first half was whether or not Stacy Burnham will be able to come back for Middlebury, and he pretty much led the team back out into the field, coming out of the locker room. As and he's going through exercises now without any noticeable limp, so he probably will get some action in the backfield for Middlebury. And the first time they played down here, did Rutland, Burnham was pretty much of a non-factor. Can't say the same tonight. 94 yards and 1 touchdown already in this game have been accumulated by Stacy Burnham, and he's back out going through the motions right now, so he'll probably be back in the lineup for the Tigers.
And I assume Mike Amatel is okay. I can't quite pick him out, but I believe he's down on the field with his Raider teammates right now.
Well, all things considered, you know, you look at what the field condition is, and you'll be able to see that when Channel 15 replays this game, that the game is played pretty well, all things considered. And, you know, they're holding on to the football, and probably the only time that the dampness of the football came into play was that long pass attempt on 3rd down from Agnes to Gagne. You can see it, that the ball just skipped right off his shoulder pads, and Not to say that that was the only thing that caused it, but I'm pretty sure if that football was dry, Randy Gagne would have wrapped it in.
Captains again will meet at midfield, but Middlebury will get the football. They deferred the choice at the beginning of the ball game. We might add again a misty rain, muddy field, but a very good crowd here. I would say better than average. A lot of folks are here. A lot of folks up from Rutland. A lot of folks here from Middlebury. A light misty rain. The temperature is relatively mild. It's got to be in the mid-40s anyway, and maybe even warmer than that. So it's a comfortable night despite the rain, but it hasn't rained really hard in a couple of hours. Matter of fact, maybe 2 hours before the kickoff time. But we have that light misty rain going on right now. The Raiders will be going left to right in the third quarter. Middlebury will be going right to left, and Middlebury will get the second half kickoff. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead. A 4-yard touchdown run for Stacy Burnham. That came in the early going in the second quarter with 11:49 left in the half. And maybe that Jacob Downey block of the extra point attempt might be a big play in this football game. It remains to be seen.
What we're seeing, as you remember, the half ended with a flag being thrown against the Middlebury defense, and I believe they're going to assess that here on the kickoff as the official was motioning towards the sideline, a face mask, and you had pointed out that you don't end a half and or a quarter on a defensive penalty, and you know.
Actually, he picked up the flag and started waving it, which means they're waving it off, but apparently that is going to be the case.
That'll push the ball further downfield for Rutland. That'll push, that's a 15-yard penalty. And that'll push Middlebury further back into their field.
I'm a little surprised about that. It seems to me that they should have had one more play after the 15-yard penalty. Not assess it on the second half kickoff, but...
Well, you think of the field conditions, and our statistician Mitch Braves was quick to point out that there's only been one turnover so far tonight. And you would think otherwise with the sloppy conditions, but not the case so far this evening.
So Rutland will be kicking off from the Middlebury 45-yard line. Indeed, that's what it was, that penalty at the end of the first half. And it is true, you can't end a half or a ball game on a defensive penalty.
So now big...
but we did.
Big defensive start here of this second half for the Raiders. If they can come out and do what they did the first time Middlebury touched the football to start the game, no yards on the first play, loss of 3 on the second, gain of 2 on the third, and then they punted the football away. And that's what they're looking to do here, this initial defensive stand here, are the Raiders. And if they can do that, turn this momentum back, get the ball back on the other side of the 50, they'd be in business here to try to get back into this game on the scoreboard.
Moss is back deep. Is an onside kick worth a shot? There it is! An onside kick, and Middlebury has recovered right around its own 26-yard line. Recovering for Middlebury was Ben Johnston. As the Raiders had the opportunity for the onside kick, even if they did not recover, have Middlebury relatively deep in its own territory. They tried the onside kick, and Middlebury recovered at its own 25-yard line. So the Tigers go on the offense, 1st and 10. At their own 25 as we get things started here in the second half. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead. Now is Burnham in there right now? It's the straight T behind Matt Daly. Tough to tell right now as Daly barks him out. The ends are tight. And Daly goes to Stacy Burnham as he takes it left. Burnham indeed was in there. He picks up a couple out to maybe the 27. Vaccaro on the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, first down's been a big down for Stacy Burnham. 41 yards gain on first down. The series that he started off, he ended it with a touchdown. Only got 2 that time on first down for the Tigers.
2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Their own 27-yard line. Now the double wing set up. And a lone setback now in motion is Ben Johnston left to right as the handoff goes straight ahead to Burnham, picking his way for a couple out across the 30 to about the 33. Looked like he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage and picks up 6. Kyle Burke was there on the tackle along with Frank Parisi for Rutland High. It'll be 3rd down and close to 3 for the Tigers at their own 33-yard line. Just underway third quarter. Middlebury has a 6-0 lead. Langfeld, tight right, tight left is Trudeau. Sheehan is the wing on the left. Sunderland wing on the right. Burnham is the lone setback, and Sheehan is in motion left to right. And the handoff to Sunderland, but we got whistles and penalty markers down. They're going to blow this play dead. And we'll see what the penalty marker is all about. It's against Middlebury, I believe.
It's against Middlebury. Could turn
offside.
What was a 3rd and 3 into a 3rd and 8 now, which certainly changes the complexion of this 3rd down offensive play calling by Coach Brakely from Middlebury.
Mark it back to the 28-yard line, 3rd down and close to 8. for the Middlebury Tigers at their own 28-yard line, offside Middlebury. They mark it near the left side hash mark. Langfeld will be wide right for Middlebury. Again, Burnham will be the lone setback. The wing left is Johnston. Sunderland wing right, and Burnham is the lone setback. Third down play. Johnston's in motion left to right. Here's the handoff to Burnham straight ahead across the 30 out to about the 33. Picks up 5. Tackled by Mike Clark, but Middlebury will have to boot the football away. It'll be fourth down and close to 3 for the Tigers, so the Raiders have held on the first Middlebury offensive possession of the second half. As Welch and McIntyre are back deep for Rutland High around the Raider 35-yard line. Daly will be going back to boot for Middlebury, or Burnham rather, back around his own 22-yard line.
Big penalty on third down against Middlebury. He had enough for a first down, and Middlebury would still have the football.
Snap, a good one, and Burnham gets the boot away. Off the side of his foot toward the far sideline. Hits on the Middlebury side of the 45, across the 45, and down at the Middlebury 46. So not a very good boot by Stacy Burnham, and the Raiders are in business. They have it 1st and 10 at the Middlebury 46-yard line, and their second best field position of the ball game, outside of when Greg Trombley recovered that fumble in the first half.
Well, as important as a bad kick for Middlebury is taking advantage of it for the Rutland offense. They need to capitalize here. They had good field position, like you said, Jack, in the first half after Trombley pounced on the loose ball, and they couldn't capitalize after that.
Bliss is in. Randy Gagne's out. Beerley is a wing on the right. The Raiders operate out of the eye. As the handoff goes to the deep man, and getting his way inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line for Rutland High was on the carry was McFerrin. Picked up 3. It'll be second down and close to 7 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 43-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 44, so we'll call it 2nd and 8 for the Raiders. Randy Gagne is in now. He's wide right. Beerley is a wing left. Raiders operate out of the eyes. Jimmy Anagnos barks him out. And the deep handoff, nothing doing. It went to Sin. Dropped at the line of scrimmage. Arthur Payne on the tackle. And it will be 3rd down and 8 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 44.
Well, Payne had a big game defensively the first matchup this year, and he burst through the line of scrimmage that time and hit Jeff Sin pretty much as the ball was handed to him by Jim Anagnos, the quarterback of Rutland. And Sin did everything he could just to get back to the line of scrimmage. It brings up now a 3rd and 9, and that's not the position you want to be in coming off what was good field position for the Raiders.
Jacob Downey is into the football game, and he will be a wing left. Sin and McFerrin are the setbacks. 3rd and 8, we'll call it, for the Raiders at the Middlebury 44. McFerrin's in motion left to right. We got penalty markers down, or at least whistles. I don't see any penalty markers as yet. Now Gagne trots out of the football game. Middlebury in front 6-0. 7:43 remaining third quarter. What is the call, fellas? It is too much time. Delay of game against Rutland High, so they'll move it back to the Middlebury 49-yard line. And the Raiders will have it 3rd down and about 13.
Well, for the second time here in this third quarter, on 3rd down, a penalty was thrown and pushes the ball further back.
Well, we mark it back to the 50-yard line now. Wide right, Randy Gagne. Did they make a mistake? I think it's only supposed to be to the 49. I think they're coming down to move the football again back to the Middlebury 49. Or are they? Yes, they are.
If not more.
So the Raiders do have it at the 49.
Yeah.
The Middlebury 49. 3rd down and about 13. Beerley is in. He's a wing on the left. Couple of setbacks behind Jimmy Anagnos. 3rd down play. Anagnos back to throw, being pressured. Throws right. He wants Gagne, and it's incomplete. Almost picked off by Perrine. Went around the Middlebury 30-yard line, and Randy's been shaken up. Perrine almost picked it off.
Well, Gagne went from offense to defense on the same play that time. The pass was intended for him, and Perrine had that one intercepted had it not been for the hit by Gagne. And Gagne paid the price as he's down at about the 30-yard line on this side of the field. just shy of the 30, about the 29.
He might have had the wind knocked out of him, but we'll see here as they administer to Randy Gagne. So the Raiders now faced with a 4th and 13 at the Middlebury 49-yard line. Clock stops with 7:20 remaining third quarter. Middlebury on the 4-yard touchdown run by Stacy Burnham early in the second quarter leads it by a score of 6-0. The try for the extra point was blocked by Jacob Downey as they still continue to administer to Randy Gagne here below us. While they do that, we'll have a timeout on the field. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
Either way, I didn't know they had the option.
Randy Gagne going off the field across the way under his own power. Looks like Randy should be back in the ball game. The Raiders face with a 4th and 13 at the Middlebury 49. Christian Hiller back to boot around the Raider 40. O'Mara back deep in single safety for Middlebury. Back around the Tiger 23. And the snap this time is a high one, and Hiller goes up and gets it and gets the boot away. It will bounce inside the 20. O'Mara picks it up at the 16, retreats, and he's down inside the 15-yard line, back around the 14. So Middlebury back in deep in its own territory, 1st and 10 at its own 14. Jeff McFerrin getting down there to make the tackle. Well, we mentioned there were 3 snaps that were low that Hiller had to dig out of the turf. This time, and I believe the long snapper is Jacob Downey, this time he tried to overcompensate, and this time it went upstairs, and Hiller went up after it.
Well, Hiller comes in at 6'1". If he had been 5'9" or 5'10", that probably would have gone over his head.
Going to say O'Mara's forward progress was out to the 16, so it's 1st and 10 Middlebury, its own 16-yard line. 6-0 Middlebury, 6:50 remaining third quarter. Daly on the handoff to Burnham straight ahead. Nothing much there, maybe a yard or two out to the 18 or so. And a bunch of Raiders there to drop them. Looks like Bill Drew was leading the charge. 2nd and 8 for the Tigers at their own 18-yard line, going right to left here in the third quarter. They have it at the right side hash mark as Ross Sheehan comes trotting out of the football game for Middlebury. Stacy Burnham in the backfield, a double wing setup. Johnston on the left, Sunderland on the right, and Burnham is the lone setback. And Johnston again in motion left to right. Wing back reverse, the call goes to Sunderland, takes it left, and he gets it out to about the 20, and he's dropped there. Picked up about 2 after it was all said and done. Matt Walterscheit there to make the tackle. It looked like it was going to get a lot more. They're going to say he got out to the 21, picked up 3. Walterscheit cut him down in a hurry. 3rd and 5 Middlebury, the Middlebury 21-yard line.
Well, Walterscheit coming from across the field from his tackle position, wrapping Sunderland up after what appeared to be a short game, although they will give him 3 yards on the gain for Middlebury.
Looked like he was going to get a lot more. At their own 24-yard line.
Well, Middlebury likes to run that slant from their backfield position, and they're getting good blocking upfield. But by the same token, Rutland's doing an outstanding job of ball pursuit.
Rick Kuchar, by the way, who got injured last week, is in defensively. Nobody back for the Raiders. Now they send a man back as Burnham back to boot. Oh, and it was almost blocked. He just gets the boot away, bounces across the Middlebury 35, and then rolls out of bounds inside, I believe, the 35-yard line. Jacob Downey almost blocked that boot by Burnham. Right now, the Raiders in excellent field position as again Burnham kicked that one off the side of his foot. Let's see where they finally mark it. They're going to mark it at the Middlebury 35-yard line.
Well, when the way Rutland set up for that punt returner, it looked as though they were going for a block, and then at the last minute, they motioned for, I believe, Carl Bergwurst to get downfield and try to field the punt, and Jacob Downey, Middlebury touchdown, and that time he just barely missed it. In fact, I don't know how Burnham got the ball through Downey's arms that time for Rutland.
Gagne goes wide left, couple of setbacks behind Jimmy Anagnos. The Raiders in good field position, 1st and 10 at the Middlebury 35-yard line. Here's the pitch now to Welch as he sweeps it left. the 16-yard line. Gagne was there, but the pass had a lot of zip on it, just went by his fingertips. So Middlebury has it 1st and 10 at its own 30. Early going. 4th quarter at a 6-6 ball game. Middlebury scored in the 2nd quarter. 4-yard run by Stacy Burnham. Their try for the extra point was blocked by Jacob Downey. And the Raiders scoring in the 3rd quarter, a 23-yard run by Jeff Sin. Their extra point attempt was just wide by Christian Hiller. So that's where we stand right now. 1st and 10 Middlebury at the Middlebury 30. A 6-6 ball game. Early going 4th quarter. Double wing set up. Sheen is in motion now. Is Daly on the handoff to Burnham off right tackle, and he cracks his way out to about the 35-yard line before he's dropped by Ryan Welch.
23. Or, excuse me, that must have been Downey. It was either Welch or Downey. I saw the 2 clearly on the uniform. Whoever did the tackle, it was an outstanding low tackle that time. It upended Burnham after a gain of 5.
You know, the ironic part about it is the Raiders are the ones that have all the mud over being in the white uniforms. We can still see Middlebury pretty well. Picked up 5. It's 2nd and 5 for Middlebury at its own 35. They're in the straight tee. And the fake to Burnham, pitch back, and almost a fumble, but managed to find the handle back at the 32-yard line. It's going to lose 3 as it was, as Johnston almost lost. It was Johnston that fumbled before, where McFerrin was the guy that recovered it. Penny on the tackle here. This one lost about 3. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for Middlebury at its own 31-yard line.
That wasn't Burnham that carried it, was it?
No, this time it was Johnston.
Burnham, on the fake, Burnham was all the way down the middle of the field, and if he was the one that was carrying the football, he might have gone for 6.
Of course, on the other hand, they might not have taken the fake.
Exactly.
Double wing set up. Burnham is the lone setback. 3rd down and 9 for Middlebury. The Tiger 31-yard line. And nothing doing on the handoff to the wingback Sheehan as he is hit, as he lost a couple back to the 29. Matt Walterscheidt on the hit for Rutland High. It'll be 4th down and 11 for Middlebury at the Middlebury 29. And the Raiders will have pretty good field position here as Middlebury has to boot it away. McIntyre and Welch are back deep for the Raiders around the Raider 25. Burnham back around the Middlebury 15 to boot it away. And the snap a little high, but Burnham's got it, and he gets the boot away. A line drive on a hop to Welch at his own 38-yard line. Takes it right. 40, 45, 50, to the 45, 40, 35, and he's all the way down to about the 32-yard line. Ryan Welch on the return, and the Raiders are in business. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 32. What a return by Ryan Welch. It was Burnham that finally knocked him out of bounds across the way.
Almost able to break it as Welch had a lot of blocking upfield and up the middle, and he scooted to the outside, and Burnham knocked him out just about the 32-yard line, and had Burnham not done that, Welch was gone.
1st and 10 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 34 is where they're going to mark a 28-yard return for Ryan Welch. Almost took it all the way. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Have it at the right side hash mark. Magnus barks him out. And the handoff goes off right tackle, and getting his way down to about the 30-yard line was Jeff Sin.
Picked up 2 on the
they're going to give him a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Got it down on 32.
And they're going around that right side again behind Bill Drew. And Rutland able to capitalize on their only touchdown so far this evening from a cross block from their down lineman.
Welch and center in the backfield. It's a power I setup. McFerrin as well. 2nd and 8 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 32. Gagne wide left. And the handoff goes to Sin for a couple down to about the 30. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Rutland High at that point.
Well, now they're in the same position they were in the last time they had the ball. 3rd and 6 or 7. And now what they need to do, obviously, is get his 1st down. If they can't, they need to get it as close to the 1st down marker as possible to try to give Christian Hiller some extra yardage to attempt a field goal here to put them on top.
Big 3rd down play, 3rd down and about 6 for the Raiders, the Middlebury 30. 8:30 left in the 4th quarter. It's a 6-6 ball game. And the deep handoff straight ahead and cracking his way to about the 24-yard line. On the carry was Ryan Welch. There is a penalty marker down, but I believe there's a penalty marker against the Raiders. Got it down to about the 25 when it was all said and done. Picked up about 5, but the penalty marker will wipe that one off the board. It's holding. It's going to be a big one.
Well, third down, not very kind to the Raiders so far here in the late third quarter / call it fourth quarter. The last time they had the ball, Anagnos went back to pass on third down, and he was sacked for a loss of 14. This time on third down, they try to run it with Ryan Welch, and they get flagged for a holding penalty. Now it's third and very long.
3rd and 15 for the Raiders. They mark it at the Middlebury 38. It's 6-6, 8:18 left in the fourth quarter. McIntyre and Gagne wide left, back to throw, and Agnes almost fell down. Rolls right, looking, shoots downfield, it goes incomplete. Down around the Middlebury 18-yard line. And the intended receiver was Randy Gagne over the middle. So the Raiders, who had excellent field position on the great return by Ryan Welch, now have it 4th and 15 at the Middlebury 38.
And without question, field conditions certainly came into play on that play, as Anagnos, as he stepped back in the pocket, lost his footing, had to step up to his right, and he actually threw the ball behind Gagne, and pass went incomplete. Well, Hiller will boot the ball away for Rutland.
Game of field position. They want better field position here, so Hiller back to boot around the Middlebury 49. O'Mara back around the Middlebury 10-yard line to receive the boot. And this time the snap is perfect. And Hiller gets the boot away, a line drive on a couple of hops to O'Mara at the 12-yard line. Takes it right, and he's dropped at the 11. Getting down there to make the tackle. A clean uniform of Frank Parisi. Frank Parisi got down there to make the hit. 1st and 10 Middlebury at the Middlebury 11. It's 6-6 with 7:58 left in the fourth quarter.
Well, Parisi doing what Frankie Vaccaro's done all evening long, getting down in good coverage for the Raiders. And now Middlebury takes over at their own 11. A long way to go, plenty of time. And it's been going back and forth here in the fourth quarter for both schools.
Burnham is the lone setback. Sheehan is a wing left. Sunderland a wing right. Wide right is Langfeld. And in motion is Sheehan. Handoff to Burnham, takes it to the outside. Burnham spins at the 20, and a bunch of Raiders there to drop him just about at the 20-yard line. Pickup of close to 9 yards on the carry. Brian Pinney was over there. 2nd down, a long yard for Middlebury at the Middlebury 20.
And again, Burnham doing a nice job getting big yardage on first down. Picked up 9 on that play, which certainly makes things a lot easier for your offense if you can get 5 to 7, maybe even more yards on first down.
7:04 left fourth quarter. It's 6-6. The straight tee behind Matt Daly. And taking to the outside is Johnston, and Johnston gets just well, let's see, got about a yard or two. Out to about the 24. Brian Pinney again on the tackle. It is a first down.
Probably tell by the audience response that he did get enough for a first down. And they're starting to move the ball out of their deep territory now. They picked up, call it 11 yards since they were pinned down at their own 11. Off the punt by Hiller and the tackle by Parisi.
About 13. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 24. Sheehan, a wing left. Sunderland, wing right. Burnham, the lone setback as Sheehan's in motion left to right. Handoff to Burnham. Takes it left to the outside. He wants to go. And a couple of tough yards, too, about the 26. Walter Scheit there on the tackle. Give him an extra yard to the 27 and call it 2nd down and 7 for Middlebury. It's 6-6, 6:12 left in the fourth quarter.
Walter Scheit stood his blocker up, moved to the right, and hit Burnham. He got help from somebody over on the far side of the line of scrimmage there, but give all that credit on that tackle to Matt Walter Scheit.
So 2nd down for the Tigers, 2nd and 7 at their own 27-yard line. Again, the double wing setup, and Burnham the lone setback. Handoff to Burnham off right tackle, has some room out across the 30 to about the 34-yard line before he's finally tripped up. Picks up about 7. Pinney on the tackle.
And they're going to Brian Pinney's side on first down with Stacy Burnham, and he picked up quite a few yards on that
awfully close to first down yardage. Don't want to be premature. That looks like they're going to call for a measurement here. He needed 7. That's just about what he picked up. 5:44 left in the fourth quarter. It's 6-6. Never has a Division I postseason game gone to overtime, if I remember correctly. And it is a first down. Certainly none of the semifinal games have since the inception of the semifinal format in '89.
Well, the second first down for Middlebury on this drive since they were pinned down in their own 11. And naturally, Rutland enjoyed having them down there, but Middlebury doing a nice job of moving the ball out of deep in their own territory.
1st and 10 Middlebury, the Tiger 34. Daly on the handoff to Burnham off right tackle to the 40. Fumbles the football. It's loose and the Raiders have recovered. And sliding out of bounds after recovering was Brent Bliss. Bliss on the fumble recovery. It's 1st and 10. Rutland at the Middlebury 48-yard line.
Well, once again, Rutland will get excellent field position. Because now there's a little conversation going on between the officials, but nonetheless, Bliss recovering the football, sliding out of bounds. And for the third time now, Rutland able to take over after a Middlebury turnover. And you think back to the first time these teams met, it was just the opposite.
So the Raiders, with 5:25 left in the fourth quarter, are in a 6-6 tie with Middlebury. They have it 1st and 10. They're going to mark it at the Middlebury 47-yard line. Couple of setbacks. Kuchar was in a few moments ago. I don't believe he's in there right now. In motion is Downey left to right now. And here is the pitch to Welch as he sweeps it right, looking for room, can't turn the corner. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of about a half yard. As on the tackle was Johnston, 2nd and 10. Thought I saw Kuchar come in offensively and then maybe go back out of the ball game. He had one of the cleaner jerseys. As Brent Bliss comes into the ball game. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. The Middlebury 47, 6-6, 4:40 left in the fourth quarter. It's Beerley, who is a wing on the left. Welch and Downey are the setbacks. And the handoff goes straight ahead, and getting his way inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line on the carry was Ryan Welch. Volkert on the tackle. Picked up about 8. It'll be 3rd down along 2 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 39-yard line.
Well, Rutland again faced with a 3rd down already here late in this game. 3rd down, they got sacked. 3rd down, a penalty. Let's see if they can be successful on this 3rd down play.
So 3rd down along 2, closer to 3 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 39-yard line. Raiders operate out of the I. Handoff goes to the first man through, and getting his way down to about the 35-yard line on the carry was Jacob Downey. Let's see. Sometimes, you know, I'm not sure that he needed about 3, picked up about 3. I don't think he got a good spot on that one either. I'm going to mark it at the 36.
Once again, a Quagmire spot.
First down.
It is a 1st down, Raiders.
Throw that one right out the window. They gave it to the first man through, which was Downey, and he scooted forward.
Has Sin been out there in a while? Yeah, I don't think he's been out there on this drive.
And for the first time here late in the game on 3rd down, Rutland able to capitalize and pick up a 1st down.
Sin is on the sideline right now, so a couple of setbacks. And let's see, we got a whistle now. Maybe they're going to change the football again. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. They have it at the Middlebury 36. It's 6-6 with 3:18 left in the football game, or in the fourth quarter, we should say, in regulation. Downey and Welch are the setbacks. And a man wide right. And Agnes on 1st down barks him out. And the handoff goes off right tackle, and squeezing his way down to about the 30-yard line on the carry was Ryan Welch. Pickup of 6. 2nd and 4. Raiders can be very patient here. They have the football. They have it 2nd and 4 at the Middlebury 30-yard line. Clock running with 2:46 left in the fourth quarter in a 6-6 ball game.
Well, they certainly are in the driver's seat now.
Here
and
comes
the important thing is to hold on to the football, watch the penalties, and pick up as many yards as you can. Most importantly on 1st down, which they did, a 6-yard gain by Welch.
Sin is in and Downey is out. Sin, Beerley, and Welch are in the power I. Welch is the deep back. On second down, the call goes to Sin, takes it right and against the grain. Gets it down to about the 26. Volkert on the tackle. Let's see where they unpile it here. It'll be third down, less than a yard for the Raiders. They're going to mark it at the Middlebury 27-yard line. As Downey comes back into the football game for Rutland High, and Sin goes out. Downey and Welch are in the backfield now. Beerley will be a wing right. The ends are tight.
Biggest play of the game right here. Third and short for Rutland.
They're actually now Gagne's wide left. Third and short for the Raiders. The Middlebury 27. Anagnos takes it right on the option. He avoids one man and turns the corner. Did he get the first down? It'll be awfully close here as he was rumbled out of bounds. Clock stops with 1:42 left in the fourth quarter. It is a first down, picked up a yard down to the Middlebury 26. Sin is back in and Beerley is out now. Gagne will come wide left. Welch and Sin are the setbacks. Got a wing right. First and 10 for the Raiders, the Middlebury 26-yard line. Here's the handoff now. And going right was Ryan Welch. Turned the corner for 1 or 2 yards down to about the 25. As the Raiders now call for the timeout, I just want to see where they mark it. Well, back to maybe a pickup of a yard. Just outside the Middlebury 25. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Rutland High. 1:33 left in the fourth quarter. We're tied at 6-6. We'll be back after this 30-second break. 2nd and 9 for the Raiders at the Middlebury 25. Just outside the Middlebury 25. It's 6-6. 1:33 remaining in the fourth quarter. Raiders just took a timeout. Unofficially, they have 2 left. Game ends in a tie. We go to overtime. So we do in any regular season game as well. It's been the case for some 17 years in the state of Vermont. Raiders operate out of the power I. Second down play. Inside handoff to Sin. And Sin gets his way down to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. Pickup of 2 or 3 yards. They're going to mark it at the Middlebury 23. Volkert on the tackle. It'll be third down and 5. McFerrin is in the ball game now. He comes out of the ball game as Welch is in.
And they're faced with the same situation now. Third and mid-range yardage now. Enough to get a first down would be 5 to 6 yards. And they'd like to get close to that if they don't get the first down to have Hiller attempt a field goal.
They actually mark it about the Middlebury 22-yard line. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Clock running now with 1:08 left in the fourth quarter. Beerley is a wing left. Couple of setbacks behind the quarterback, Jimmy Anagnos. Gagne's wide left. Beerley is in motion left to right. Anagnos, the handoff off right tackle, and spinning his way down to about the 16-yard line. On the carry was Jacob Downey.
Very close to a first down, I believe.
It's awfully close. Again, they're not getting good spots here. Looked like he was closer to the 15. They got it at the 16-yard line. And it's 4th down and less than a yard. And there is a timeout, but we'll keep it right here. Looked like they needed 5. Apparently it was more like a long 5 on that play, because that looked to me that Downey got there.
They're going to bring the tape out
okay,
anyway.
Here comes the chain game. Clock stops with 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 6-6 ball game. And he just missed it, inches shy, so it's 4th and inches for the Raiders at the Middlebury 16.
about the length of a football to go for a first down, and now it's really decision time for Coach Bearworth.
Well, you got to go for it here.
You definitely, I agree, you definitely have to go for it. 47 seconds remain in the ball game.
6-6.
You've got a few timeouts left. So you get a first down, you call another timeout, and you set up your strategy to punch it into the end zone and come out of here with a W.
Downey and Welch are the setbacks. 4th and inches for the Raiders at the Middlebury 16. Welch on the carry down. He didn't need much, picked up a couple.
First down.
It is a first down.
Now the clock continues to run now.
It's at the 15.
Seconds.
He picked up a yard. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, the Middlebury 15. 30 seconds left in regulation. It's 6-6. Anagnos now, back to throw. Looking, still looking. Throws, and it is intercepted. Middlebury intercepts at the goal line. Middlebury turns the Raiders away. An interception at the goal line. I believe it was Chan Perrine on the interception. And with 20 seconds left in regulation as the Raiders had it down to the 15, an interception by Perrine was intercepted, and then Perrine got it to about the 5-yard line before he's dropped.
I tell you, that might not be all that bad for Rutland now. The ball will be marked close to the goal line of Middlebury.
Well, it's more out like toward the 5. It looked like he sort of dove.
Still, nonetheless, if they can catch a scramble in the backfield, cause a fumble, or possibly a safety, they can come out of here and win this game.
Well, the clock is running. 5 seconds left in regulation. I think we're going to go to overtime. Daly's going to let it run down. And that is the end of regulation for the first time in Vermont high school football history. A postseason game goes to overtime. It is 6-6. We'll be back to explain the overtime format to you after this 30-second timeout. For a touchdown, you can go for the 1 point, you can go for the 2. If one team scores a touchdown, and let's say gets 6 points, of course the other team has a right. It's like baseball having the last at-bats. One team will go offensively. They'll do what they do, and the 4 cracks at it from the 10. Then the other team will go. If one team, let's say, goes up and goes 6-0 and misses the extra point, the other team can win it with a touchdown and an extra point. If one team gets an extra point to go up 7-0, the other team could win it with a 2-point conversion. Field goals also count. To my knowledge, too, that fumbles and interceptions can be returned all the way back the other way. This is something in the press box that people don't know about. I haven't seen an overtime game in a long time. Here come the captains to meet at midfield. Matt Walterscheid, Jeff Sinn, Jim Hill, and Jacob Downey for the Raiders. Ben Johnston, and also Patrick Kieran for the Middlebury Tigers. I think we ought to check on that. Dave, can you run an interception or a fumble all the way back in the overtime? Yes, you can. It's sort of like they do in college ball. If one team scores a touchdown, if the first team scores, let's say, and the other team has an opportunity, if they don't come back to either tie it or perhaps win it, the other team wins. Everybody has the equal amount of times to score from the 10-yard.
The whole game has been decided by field goal position, and normally the football field is 100 yards long, and right now 10 yards will decide who moves on to the state championship either Friday or Saturday of next week.
Very interesting to see what you do here. Would you rather go on defense to see what the other team does, or would you rather go on offense and put the pressure on? I believe Middlebury won the toss here. You also have your choice of which way you want to go. They might want to have the drier side, whichever that is. Now, they haven't really indicated. Middlebury won the toss.
They're going to give the ball to Rutland.
Rutland will have the ball. So Middlebury decided to go on the defense. So you got 4 cracks at it from the 10. You can score by field goal. You can score by, obviously, touchdown. And the question is, you go for the 1 or the 2 points. Now, the other team has the opportunity to come back to tie or win it, and we keep going forever until we get a winner.
Well, I tell you, as important as it is to decide this game on the field, you really have to appreciate what the 2 head coaches are going through at this point, because obviously they're going to be doing the offensive calling. And do you let your team go for the 3 and trust your defense, or naturally do you try to punch it in for 6 and the 2-point conversion? So it's going to be a chess match from this point out between Brakely and Coach Beerworth.
And Rutland will go on the offense first. They'll have 4 cracks at it from the 10. We're in overtime. To my knowledge, the first overtime postseason game in Division I history of the state of Vermont. To my knowledge, Bob Fredette is asking me. I'm just saying off the top of my head. I don't remember one.
It's to
I think there has been one in other divisions. I remember one in Rutland, Winooski and somebody some years ago. Bellows Falls, that's right. Winooski and Bellows Falls. And Agnes barks him out. Handoff goes to the second man, Jeff Sin, straight ahead, gets it to about the 6-yard line. Tripped up right there. So the Raiders have it second down from the Middlebury 6. We're in overtime.
The only thing you need to think about now is crossing that goal line.
And now Middlebury wants a timeout. We'll keep it right here.
And another important thing is, although the possession starts at the 10, a penalty will back it up.
Yep, that's true.
The regular amount of yardage. So another thing for Rutland to keep in mind is do not commit, most notably, a big penalty such as a holding or an unsportsmanlike conduct of something of that nature, which will push the ball back at least 10 yards from where it is now. And he picked up 2 on the play, so it's second and goal from the 8.
Yeah, they're going to actually about the 7. Look, initially it got even closer than that. Second and goal from the 7 for the Raiders. We are in overtime. The Raiders have the ball first. It is 6-6. On a muddy field at Middlebury where the Raiders, when you see the game on television with all the close-ups, it looks clear. That's why we're happy to have a monitor here. And Brian Mayhew is helping us out because it might have been even more difficult. But from our vantage point, everybody looks the same. So second and goal for the Raiders from the Middlebury 7. The Raiders have the ball first. We are in overtime. Couple of setbacks behind Jimmy and Agnes. They have a man in motion right to left. And Agnes on the handoff to Sin. Turns it to the outside. Breaks a tackle. And maybe picks up a yard or 2 to the 5. As he was tackled there. So now the Raiders have a third down and goal from the 6. The Raiders in the overtime. They are the first team to have the football.
And Rutland will call a timeout.
And again, we'll keep it right here. 6-6, we're in overtime. The Raiders have a third down at the Middlebury 6. The Raiders have the ball first. If the Raiders do not score, and Middlebury scores by either a field goal or a touchdown, Middlebury would win the ball game.
Now, in this case, Jack, if let's say Rutland does not score, Middlebury gets the ball back, can they attempt a field goal and then still have the 3 remaining downs after that? Or once you attempt a field goal, do you now lose possession of the football?
You'd have to ask that question. I'm not sure.
This is
that's another one that Dave Sears from the Burlington. Can you attempt a field goal on your first try, or do you give up the right? I've never seen that. I've only seen about 2 or 3 over. This rule was instituted certainly during the regular season back in '76. I've only seen 2 or 3 overtime games, so I haven't seen that scenario. Third down for the Raiders at the Middlebury 7. Gagne's wide left. And Agnes barks him out. Right side hash mark. Man in motion right to left now. And Agnes play action. Rolls left. Looking. Still looking. Cuts it inside, gets it to about the 4. That's it. It'll be fourth down. As Langfeld made the tackle for Middlebury. So it'll be fourth down at the 5-yard line for the Raiders. And let's see, they are still discussing things here. They have it at the left side hash mark. They will not try for a field goal. They go for it all here. We're in overtime, 4th down at the Middlebury 5. Couple of setbacks behind Anagnos. Got a man in motion, it's Beerley left to right. Anagnos gets the snap, rolls right, looking to throw, throws toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. It's incomplete. So the Raiders do not score. And Middlebury has 4 cracks at it from the 10. It was tough to tell who the intended receiver was, and Agnes was being pressured.
Well, Beerley was going out to the right side of the end zone, and I couldn't tell what number it was coming across the middle of the end zone, but Agnes was pressured heavily in the backfield, and he just threw the ball towards the end zone, and there was no one wearing a white with mud outlined uniform for Rutland, and now Middlebury gets the same 4 chances from the 10.
Middlebury also going right to left here. They have 3 wideouts right, so the Raiders did not score. Middlebury scores. Middlebury wins it. If they don't, the Raiders get the ball back again. Here's the handoff to Burnham off right tackle, and Burnham is crunched under after a pickup of maybe 3 to the 7-yard line. On the tackle, Mike Clark for Rutland High. Let's see where they mark it here at the 7. So 2nd down for Middlebury at the 7, their first opportunity here. The Raiders did not score on their opportunity. Sunderland is a wing right, Johnston wing left, and Burnham is the lone setback. Now they have a wide out left. It is Langfield. And the handoff goes to the first man, Burnham, but there's a penalty marker down. We'll see what this is all about here.
Looks like some illegal motion or something against Middlebury. Now they're pointing to Rutland.
Yeah, and what was it? Was it offside?
Offsides against Rutland.
So it'll be half the distance.
Coach Beerworth wants a timeout.
Sheehan comes into the football game. We're in overtime. It's 6-6. The Raiders did not score on their opportunity. Middlebury now has it. 2nd down.
Coach Beerworth is coming. They were ready to snap the ball. He was motioning for a timeout. Nobody saw him.
Middlebury has it at the Raider 3-yard line. It's their 2nd down. Again, we're in overtime, 6-6. The Raiders did not score in their 4 cracks at it from the 10. Middlebury now has it after an offside call. They have it 2nd down at the Rutland 3-yard line.
Tell you, what a way to end this football game. Muddy conditions, sloppy field, and it's going to come down to whose defense is more stubborn defending their own goal line from 10 yards and in.
Middlebury led 6-0 at halftime. 4-yard run by Stacy Burnham in the 2nd quarter. A 23-yard run by Jeff Sin in the 3rd quarter. It tied it up. Hiller missed the extra point just barely.
Very close, a missed extra point.
The Middlebury extra point was blocked by Jacob Downey. 2nd down for Middlebury at the Raider 3 after the offside penalty. If Middlebury scores, they win the ball game. Burnham is the lone setback. Sheehan is a wing left. Sunderland wing right. Daly is the quarterback. Daly barks him out. But a man in motion. And the handoff goes to Sunderland. Nothing doing. The wingback. He was tackled by Jacob Downey. And it lost yardage back outside the 5-yard line to the 7. What a play by Downey.
Jacob Downey, of course, he is probably responsible for this game being into overtime as he blocked the extra point way back early in this game.
That lost about 3.
He responded huge that time with a big tackle all by himself. And it was a nice play offensively for Middlebury, and Jacob Downey was not fooled by it. Came across and wrapped him up for a loss on the play.
Lost yardage back to the 6.
And they still have 2nd down up on the scoreboard.
It's 3rd down on the stick, though. So now Johnston, Burnham, and Sunderland left to right in the backfield in the straight T behind Matt Daly. And now a penalty marker down. Too much time against Middlebury. They'll mark it back to the 11. So Middlebury had it 2nd down at the 3. They now have a 3rd down at the 11.
Big penalty at this stage in the game. There was a penalty against Rutland a couple plays before that. Downey with a big play defensively. Now a delay of game call against Middlebury backs it up 5, and now they're outside the 10 with 2 plays to crack it in. Of course, if they don't score here, they may want to try a field goal because Rutland did not score, and a field goal would win it.
Now Middlebury wants a timeout. Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this 30-second break. Send it back. Now, third down for Middlebury at the Raider 10 is where they mark it. We're in overtime. It's 6-6. Fake to Johnston. Daly takes it left on the option, and he's tripped up as he got to the 6-yard line. Picked up 4. And a big tackle there looked like Rick Kuchar.
It was Rick Kuchar.
Now Middlebury will try apparently a field goal. Middlebury can win it with a field goal.
And the only time Middlebury brought the kicking game out here tonight, Jacob Downey deflected it for the extra point block.
So it's fourth down, Middlebury from the 6. The Raiders did not score on their 4 cracks at it. Middlebury now on fourth down. If they get the field goal here, they win it. If not, the Raiders get another crack at it.
Scott Norwood, are you with us tonight?
They're going to mark it at the 17-yard line, a 27-yard attempt for Matt Daly. Snap down, the kick is no good! No good! I'm not sure if somebody deflected it or not.
I don't believe so. Matt, don't call me Scott Norwood Daly. Not even close on that one. And normally, Mitch Braves and I were talking during the timeout that Middlebury doesn't get it on third down. They're probably going to kick a field goal. And they went with that. And now Rutland gets their second chance, 4 downs to crack it in from the 10.
So Middlebury, they had it to the 3-yard line on second down. Big play, I believe it was Jacob Downey. As they lost yardage, and then they had a penalty back to the 11, got it back to the 6 on the third down play. Their field goal attempt was no good, so both teams did not score in the first series. So the Raiders have their second series, their second crack from the 10, a 6-6 ball game. There was a break between the series. We'll have that every time if you go 2 series, one team tries it, the other team tries it, and it remains the same.
Well, maybe this may be the time that Rutland does something to surprise Middlebury, catch them off guard. Remember, Andy Rice told me before the game started, we were walking around the field together, that Rutland may try to throw it on first down. We have yet to see that tonight. But then again, that may have a lot to do with the amount of pressure that's being applied to Jim and Agnes in the backfield.
So now the Raiders have, let's see, do the Raiders have a choice this time? Now the Raiders go on the defense is what's going to happen, I believe. Now Middlebury has it. So you have the equal amount of choices, okay. So Middlebury now has it. My mistake. I guess I don't believe they had another coin flip. I guess you keep alternating so one team gets the first time one time, then the other team gets it. Remember, the Raiders had it first, then Middlebury had it. They didn't score. Now Middlebury will have it first. So Middlebury will have the ball, 1st and 10, 1st and goal at the Raider 10-yard line. So they'll alternate that way.
Look for big plays by 2 seniors, Walter Scheidt and Downey, doing it all evening long defensively for the Raiders.
So Middlebury goes first in this series. They operate out of the straight tee. At Daly now, play action, rolls right, fires toward the end zone, and it is intercepted at the goal line and going up the field. Now he apparently stepped out of bounds. Let's see who that interception was. The Raiders have intercepted. They'll have the ball at the 10-yard line.
Kyle Berquist.
Berquist on the interception. Now if he returned that up the sideline all the way, the Raiders would have gotten the... Matter of fact, they would have won the game because that was...
Exactly. For the second week in a row, Kyle Berquist with a big interception. You remember last week, the interception deep into Rutland territory against MSJ, and tonight, an even bigger interception.
So Berquist intercepts on Middlebury's first try of the second series. Now the Raiders are in the situation that if they score, they win. If they score, they win.
They have 3 downs to play with here. This close in, they'll probably kick a field goal if they get it on 4th down.
Gagne's wide left. As Jimmy and Agnes barks him out, they have a wing right. Jimmy and Agnes on the handoff to Sinoff, right tackle. Nothing much there. As a matter of fact, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
That's really not so bad for Rutland. They want to keep the ball, most importantly, in the center of the field, because if they have to go for a field goal, they want to have Hiller have a straight-on shot. If they run it to either side, that would certainly affect if he's got an angled shot at the uprights.
Well, that actually lost a couple. It lost about 2, so the Raiders have it at the 12. 2nd down and goal. A Raider touchdown or a Raider score of any type wins it.
Certainly you want to go up the middle of the field, and now they're on the right side hash mark. You want to bring it back to the left and try to keep it as close to the center of the field as possible.
They operate out of the power I from the 12-yard line. Right side hash mark, and Agnes barks him out. And Agnes now on the handoff straight ahead. And Sin picks up a couple back to the 10-yard line. It'll be third down.
I think the most important part about this play here is not getting more yardage, is getting good field position and getting the ball to the center of the field. They ran it right up the middle again, and they're marked at the right side hash mark. Whether or not you gain yardage at this point is not important. You want to get the ball back over to the center of the field.
Picked up about a yard. Third down for the Raiders at the Middlebury 11. Second series in the overtime. The Raiders score, wins it. Halfback option as they go to Sin. Throws toward the end zone. It is intercepted by Middlebury. And another turnover, and here we go again. We go to the third series. And let's see who intercepted that. I believe it might have been Aaron Volkert.
I really can't understand why you would want to attempt a pass, a play like that in that situation. The only thing you had to do was bring it back to the left side of the football field and kick the game-winning field goal. Why go to trickery that late in the game?
So we now go to the third series, and then Middlebury will, this time Rutland will be the first team again. If they continue to alternate, I believe they'll do that, and then Middlebury will have it. So 6-6, we go to the third series in overtime. And third series, go first. It's 6-6. We're in overtime. The Raiders in the third series go first. 4 cracks at it from the 10. I'll tell you, when we drove up here to Middlebury tonight, little did we know what was in store for us. First, of course, all the mud. And this overtime. A historic ball game. Gagne's wide left, and Agnes marks him out on first down. The handoff goes off the right side. It's Sin as he cuts it toward the far sideline, and he's driven out of bounds right around the 5 or so. Let's see where they mark it. Remember, all the action's inside the 10, which is the most difficult part of the field to see anyway. It's at the 5, so Sin picks up 5 on the carry.
Timeout Middlebury.
How many timeouts do you get? We'll keep it right here.
We could be here so long they might not need the lights.
We said the game was just zipping along, but I think the overtime sort of made it go a little bit longer than expected. Second down, and there is a timeout. We'll keep it right here. We'll have a J.P. Carrera & Sons MVP after the game. Also a 12th Player Award winner for Pasquale's. It's 6-6. We are in the third series of the 4 cracks at it from the 10. The Raiders going first in this series, and they have it second down at the Middlebury 5.
Well, the field
the mud
of
ball
dreams,
that's known as Middlebury.
For Rutland is only 5 yards long. As Sin gained 5 on first down.
And this is a huge crowd tonight.
Seems like it got bigger all of a sudden. You look at the end zone that they're going at, and you'll see it on tape coverage by Channel 15 that the whole end zone is surrounded, probably 4 rows deep of fans here, and the excellent fan support making the trip north to Middlebury from Rutland.
In the backfield now, Jeff Sin. Looks like McIntyre is the other one. And McIntyre getting the call straight ahead, gets it to about the 3. So the Raiders have a third down at the Middlebury 3 on this, the first series of downs of the third series. The first crack in the third series. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard pickup. Boy, it is tough to tell from here, I'll tell you. Looked like he got a couple, but he got back to the 5-yard line. Third down. Raiders have it at the Middlebury 5. Handoff goes off right tackle to Jeff Sin. He's awfully close. It looks like he's close from here down about the 2-yard line. Indeed, it was Sin.
No, it was Downey. Jacob Downey.
Downey on the carry. We're trying to get it from the monitor plus the yelling here too. And another timeout. It's fourth down.
They showed 2 yards to go on the
They have it at
scoreboard.
about the 2-yard line. That's where he got, to the 2. Again, keep in mind on top of everything, the action inside the 10 and the Raider uniforms covered with mud. We're doing the best we can to identify them.
It's the biggest play of the evening for the Raiders.
Raiders on 4th down from the 2. Deep handoff, putting his head down, and no, not getting in. Down at the line of scrimmage on that carry was Jeff Sin. Jeff Sin was the deep back on 4th down from the 2. He was stopped. And now Middlebury has 4 cracks at it from the 10 on the final series of downs of the 3rd round. So the Raiders have not scored from the 10 on 3 rounds. Now Middlebury has an opportunity from the 10. A Middlebury score of any type, Middlebury wins the ball game.
Now Middlebury's in the same situation Rutland was before that last drive.
It's like a baseball team having the last at-bat. So 1st and goal, Middlebury at the Rutland 10. Hand off to Burnham straight ahead, not much there. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And getting up from underneath the pile was Jeff Sin. It's 2nd down at the 9-yard line. Picked up a yard. Middlebury has it. They are their 3rd series of downs. They are the last team in the 3rd round. A Middlebury score wins it for Middlebury. They got 1 setback. Sunderland's in motion now right to left. And Daly goes to Burnham, and he cracks his way for a couple to about the 7. So it'll be 3rd down. They brought it toward the middle of the field. Jeff Sin on the tackle.
Well, I think they understand and they realize that all they need is a field goal to win this game. They'll try it once more from the left side hash mark, and after that I'm pretty sure we'll see Daly come in to try to win it. He's already had 1 opportunity. The first opportunity was wide, short, and ugly. The combination of all 3 had no chance of going in.
Third down for Middlebury at the 8-yard line. And the handoff goes to Burnham off left tackle, breaks the tackle, and did he dive in? No indication from the officials. The Tigers think they have it, but I believe Burnham was down at virtually the goal line. He almost got in. He was stopped at the goal line. It'll be 4th down. Now do they try for the field goal or try to get that extra foot? 4th down at virtually the goal line at the 1.
Timeout called.
Burnham almost got in there, and it was tough to tell who got the tackle. But it was a saving tackle.
I believe he broke the plane, but only after his knee was down at about the half-foot line. Because should they not get it here on 4th down, they'll get the football back to start round number 4.
So now in the backfield, left to right, Johnston, Burnham, and Sunderland. 4th down at the 1. Handoff to Burnham, ducks underneath. He's in, touchdown, and Middlebury has won it. Middlebury wins it in the 3rd round of the overtime on a 1-yard plunge by Stacy Burnham. Middlebury wins it 12-6. And they mob Burnham off to our left. A disappointed Rutland High Red Raider football club lost the first time around, 23-7. A valiant effort tonight. They took it into overtime. Middlebury in one of the rounds, I believe the first one had it at the 3. They were 3 yards from victory. This one, the last team to have it on the 3rd round from a yard out. And that's the ball game. In overtime, Middlebury 12, Rutland 6. We'll wrap it up after this 2-minute timeout.